Main cam 200 megapixels crop covers 2 times 50 megapixels. 3 times 200 megapixels crop covers up to 6 times.
OPPO Find X9 Ultra Hasselblad Earth Explorer Master Set. What is inside? Let us get this unboxed OPPO and Hasselblad. Collab a one-time seal sticker. Slowly open it up. Super thick packaging. Remove the liner board. Classic Earth out imaging with a limited edition. Number below, body, lens, and accessories. Here comes our star. Sealed on both sides. The box is improved with a handle latch on the side. A salute to every Earth Explorer. Right here, the phone itself and the charger. 100 watts Super VOOC output, USB-A port, 11 volts, 9.1 amperes, a high current power up solution. For the cables, a 12-amp data cable. Now the star. Definitely a flagship model. The rounded corners are not as pronounced, making the whole device feel tougher compared to current trends. A standard flat screen. The bezels look like a mix of titanium, or maybe bronze, all blended together. The bezels have a subtle curve. The antenna bands on the sides are symmetrically designed. Let us take in its looks from every angle. Ports at the bottom. Watch the SM tray, do not insert it wrong. This is the mic. Now let us check out the back. From different angles. Personally, this texture is something photos just cannot capture well. Feel the aperture of this lens as expected from OPPO's flagship. It truly has that Hasselblad camera vibe. First, the buttons on the frame, the shutter buttons painted orange. Then on the back, vegan leather splits in two. This design serves a final assembly with the OPPO and Hasselblad logos complementing each other. Now for the camera module itself, two 200 megapixel lenses. Just look at them on their own. Can you feel it? It really gives off that holding a camera vibe. OPPO's flagship this year, on a scale of 100, rate its looks for me. Now for the bare weight, 237.9 grams. Right, on par with expectations. After all, for a flagship, this leather wrap, yeah, it feels incredibly comfortable. Unbox the whole set, put the accessories together, and it is just insane at this point. Just look at this lens module. Its size is almost the same as our main phone body, plus all the accessories have been specially custom designed. Check out this body texture. The lens is nearly 16 centimeters long. Just feel the aperture section. Now, the original protective case. All I can say is, with the case on, the looks get way more low-key. So, is there a more badass case? You bet. Here it comes. The case from the Hasselblad Master Kit. Put it on, adds a grip. Now you see why the back plays like this. A split body design. Nice. From the side, when you hold it, the grip feels fantastic. The shutter button, toggle dials, all in just the right spot. But this is not the final form. The lens combo sticks out even more than the phone. Click installed. Look at it from any angle. This is unmistakably a Hasselblad. Alright, then still going to say you are not a camera.
Now for the main event, cameras OPPO's Ultra models have always been about specs. Every Ultra pairs a large sensor primary camera with dual periscope telephoto for seamless zoom ranges. This time, the OPPO Find X9 Ultra is even more aggressive than last gen. First, the hardware specs, 200 megapixels, 1/1.12-inch LYT-901 main camera, plus a 200 megapixel, 1/1.28-inch OV52, a mid-telephoto, a 1/1.95-inch LYT-600 ultra-wide, and a 10x 1/2.75-inch JNL periscope telephoto lens. Now, some of you might be thinking, is not the sensor for that telephoto a bit too small? Hold on, if we compare the lens specs of previous 10x optical zoom flagships, it is clear. OPPO's 10x optical zoom is currently top tier, and we will dive into a detailed comparison in a bit. Based on hardware specs alone, OPPO's offering is currently the most stacked Ultra flagship yet. Alright, let us check out some sample shots. On a scale of 100, give it a quick score. When you open the OPPO Find X9 Ultra's camera, the most striking change is the interface. The top menu is streamlined to just flash, live, EV adjustment, and a more button. The mode switching options have been moved below the shutter. Besides tapping, you can also swipe up from below the More button. Reminds me of a certain big international brand. Now for the samples, first up is the standard filter in master mode, showing all the adjustment parameters. Use these settings and you can get similar shots too. This master mode adds upgraded filters like Harmony Light, Rich and High Contrast B and W. What is really handy is the Ultra also supports sharing custom presets right from albums. You can also import master sample shots and apply their recipes with one tap, letting even casual users capture life with a master's touch. Time for some sample shots. First up, the 200 megapixel main cam. We are comparing it to the equally 200 MP Samsung S26 Ultra. OPPO does a great job distinguishing the colors across different parts of the lid. On the tree trunk, Samsung's colors are a bit deeper. For center sharpness, both are quite clear, though there is a slight difference in file size. OPPO has got high resolution, 69.1 megabytes. Samsung is at 49.34 megabytes. Now let us check out the second generation, Danxia color restoration lens, comparing it against Apple. OPPO's look is on the brighter side with nice depth to the image, making it more pleasing to the eye. What you see with the naked eye is indeed closer to OPPO's Client Blue. Next, let us bring in Samsung and Xiaomi. So, whose color performance do you prefer this time? Zooming in on the details on the right. Xiaomi is a bit overexposed and shows some sharpening artifacts. For the central wooden door, OPPO shows richer detail with clear textures. Apple and Samsung lack sharpness, while Xiaomi enhances the presence of lines textures. Let us switch to another indoor shot. This one is heavy on red, which really tests color accuracy. Apple's overall tone is cool. Zooming in, OPPO, Samsung and Xiaomi all managed to restore some of the color. Apple's shot influenced by the lighting turns the wall blue and purple. The interior wall and coke details are handled strongly by OPPO, whereas Apple's shot has fewer wall details overall. Samsung's shot has color shift and quite a bit of noise. OPPO's success here likely stems from its f1.5 aperture. This lets the Find X9 Ultra's main cam capture 10% more light than even a 1-inch sensor. Moving to the 3x mid-range on the central wall, Apple shows color shift, leaning towards a blue-green tint. Detail-wise, Apple's 4x telephoto at 100mm equivalent still holds an edge. OPPO and Xiaomi with large sensors hold their own too. Samsung's small sensor 3x lens has a familiar issue, lacking optical sharpness switched to 5x, and it can finally compete on the same stage. Next up, the 200 megapixel showdown. We are pitting it against the latest Xiaomi and Vivo's 200 MP models. First, for color, both OPPO and Vivo's colors are quite true to life, while Xiaomi seems to have some color deviation. But for center sharpness, Xiaomi pulls way ahead of the pack. Switching to another identical scene, Xiaomi's resolution remains sharp, while OPPO and Vivo stick closer to real-world color. For ultra telephoto, OPPO this time introduces the Hasselblad 10x Sky Eye lens. OPPO's ability to bring back the 10x zoom is intrinsically linked to the 3x medium telephoto we just covered. The 3x large sensor mid-range still covers the 6x focal length after cropping. Here we compare it to the predecessor, the OPPO Find X9 Ultra with its 6x optical, and the gap is not huge. That is why OPPO had the confidence to boost the original 6x to 10x for that higher zoom. Next up, let us compare it with the former concert king, the Samsung S23 Ultra. You can see OPPO's center image is sharp and clear, with all details perfectly preserved. Switching scenes again, even in daylight, the Samsung still shows some noise around the windows and the walls. If OPPO's 10x lens still is not enough for you, well, OPPO has an even bigger ace up his sleeve. The Hasselblad Teleconverter Ultra 300mm equivalent focal length. Holding it is just wild. Here, let us compare shots with and without the teleconverter at the same focal length. At first glance, the resolution seems similar, but camera pros can spot the difference right away. With the teleconverter attached, the camera relies less on AI. The image gets less smudged, overall brightness improves, making it much closer to what you would see with your eyes. Finally, the ultra-wide OPPO's overall image is brighter, with a nice rich texture. In the center, OPPO's image quality is much sharper, and for corner sharpness control, OPPO really stands out. All in all, the OPPO Find X9 Ultra's pros in both hardware and software is truly formidable. But that is not all. OPPO is going all in on high-quality imaging. Another key feature of this dual 200 megapixels cameras is delivering 50 megapixels at multiple focal lengths. Crop from the 200 megapixels main, and you get 50 megapixels at 2x. Crop from the 200 megapixels, and you can cover up to 6x zoom. This covers 6 high-pixel focal lengths from 14mm all the way to 230mm. So you get the best image quality experience at every key focal length. Finally, the head-to-head. Let us bring in the competitors. First, wide-angle portraits by default. Apple's side has pretty much no background blur. The tricky part is facial portraits. OPPO leans a bit rosy. Apple and Samsung styles are quite close. The whole picture feels familiar, kind of plain. Xiaomi and Vivo are not as red as OPPO, landing somewhere in the middle. Notice the hair strands. OPPO and Vivo render each one with perfect clarity. Competitors show some computational errors with the hair on top. OPPO and Vivo, however, manage to accurately reproduce the cute girl's lipstick. Switching to a telephoto portrait, again testing the algorithms hard. Apple and Samsung show varying degrees of skin tint. Xiaomi and Vivo show more algorithmic traces on skin in portraits, with Vivo's skin smoothing being harsher. So the overall look, OPPO's portrait beautification algorithms are less aggressive than Xiaomi and Vivo, focusing on its unique vitality. Of course, domestic brands are generally better at portraits than the big internationals. For video, the OPPO Find X9 Ultra introduces the all-new OLOG2 plus the new Master Tone HDR video. Here we will show sample shots from both specs. Let us know which one do you think is better. Quick wrap on imaging, OPPO Find X9 Ultra is a beast in camera specs. Super telephoto plus dual 200 megapixels. All this tech delivers real, tangible results. Once it is officially released, we will do more detailed comparisons. Specs-wise, the OPPO Find X9 Ultra has a 2K 144Hz screen paired with the 5th generation Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. For benchmarks, Geekbench 6 scores 3790, single-core 11896, multi-core 3D Mark. For cross-platform testing, it scored 3133. While not focused on performance, it is still top tier. ANTU TOV11 latest scores 4.3 million, delivering outstanding performance for this chip. Next up, real-world gaming performance. Honor of Kings Max FPS Ultra Res Max quality runs for 30 minutes, averaging 144 frames per second. Comes from back, max 44.6 degrees Celsius from 44.8 degrees Celsius back. Power draw 4.87 watts. Crank up the load. Genshin Impact max setting 60 FPS 30 minutes. AVG 60.1 frames. Has complete max front temp 43.7 degrees Celsius. Total power draw 4.01 watts. Finally, HSR's golden hour 30 minutes, average frame rate 59.4 FPS. Temps render bit high time 47.9 degrees Celsius, backs at 47.6 degrees Celsius with 6.9 watts total power draw. Nearing the 30-minute mark, the whole device heats up and the phone caps out at 50 FPS power up. For power up and battery, the camera module takes space, so it comes equipped with a 7050 mAh battery. With 100 watts wired and 50 watts wireless charging, we tested it from 0% all the way to 100%. To complete trickle charge, 57 minutes. After our standard 5 tests, it finished with 71% battery left. Then playing 4K 60 FPS online video with Done More on. It lasted from 100% full charge to shut down for a total of 14 hours 54 minutes.